When I joined the CIA, it's like you walk in the door and it shuts behind you. And your friends basically can't know where you went. They can't know where you are. They certainly can't know what you do.
For 27 years, Jonna Mendez had one of the most dangerous jobs on the planet, serving as a CIA agent.
I came in a side door at CIA as a wife. I married a CIA officer. And I really was interested in all of it, everything they were doing and how they were doing it. And I became interested in that technical end of it, which included counterfeiting, disguise, audio penetrations, concealment devices, teeny tiny small cameras. I thought it was the James Bond stuff. I thought that was really interesting. But I was just a secretary, but I was bored.
She slowly worked her way up the company ladder.
I know you're really interested in photography. Take some of our courses. This technical office, we train our case officers how to use all those gadgets, all those micro dots and tiny cameras. So I was a photo operations officer for a good while, traveling the world. And there wasn't a photo job for me coming up, but there was a disguise job opening up. And I said, I could do disguise. And it took some training, but I went to my dream assignment as a disguise officer and then went home and they made me deputy. And after a while, they made me chief.
There were hurdles along the way.
The CIA was reflecting the American workplace. I think was happening to women everywhere in this country. And people that get caught in Russia, they got killed, they got executed. It was deadly serious. It was really scary. And the men didn't think that the women could do that work. So they were saying, the woman thing was the death knell for an operational woman. I said, bullshit, BS. I told the women I worked with, I said, don't ever apologize for being a woman. Use it in the most productive way you can.
She shares her journey, or what she can safely share about her journey, in her newest book.
When you go into the CIA, you sign all this paperwork, and you agree that anything you actually say publicly or write publicly is subject to review, and they can object. If it is classified, they can take it out. When I speak to groups of people, I always tell them up at the beginning, don't worry, I won't have to kill you, because everything I'm going to talk to you about is in one of my books, and I can talk about those things. Everyone sighs with relief.
She details cool gadgets she used.
Our office, our technical office, it was called OTS, represented the Q in the James Bond movies exactly.
Morning, Q. Sorry about the leg. Skiing?
Hunting.
We even wore white lab coats. We were physicists, we were chemists, electronic, mechanical engineers. We represented technologies that a lot of people wouldn't even have recognized them as technologies, cameras that looked like anything but a camera. And we put them in places like buttons on overcoats. We put them in cigarette packages. We put them in your watch. We put them in your ring. We put them in your belt. Put them in your briefcase. Put them in your purse. Put them in your glasses. And then anywhere, everywhere, because they were little. They could just go anywhere. I get goosebumps thinking about where cameras can be today. So if you think of a Sharpie pen, the man who had it with camera inside would be in, say, Putin's office, talking to Putin at his desk. And our guy can take his pen and silently, with one movement, photograph the minutes of the meeting or the agenda or whatever. And Putin turns around, he makes a note, because it still writes, puts it in his pocket, goes to lunch with him. The take we got from those pens, it was gold.
As chief of disguise, Jonna and her team used Hollywood technology, magic, and whatever else perfected disguises.
We were in the business of deception and illusion. And there's a lot of similarities with what they do in the magic shows. A little sleight of hand, a little mustache on, a little wig off, a little new outfit, I don't know, whatever you're doing. We're trying to fool people. John Chambers, who was an Oscar-winning makeup artist, he did the Planet of the Apes stuff.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
Through him, we learned a lot of the tricks that Hollywood uses in changing the way people look. Hollywood never made masks like we ended up making. As a matter of fact, they were blown away when they saw what we could do. So in theory, I could have on a mask this whole interview, and you would not know it.
She even used her skills to deceive a former president.
I showed my office director. He showed the director of the CIA. He said, we're going to the White House. So we went down to the Oval Office and we briefed President George H.W. Bush. I was wearing that mask. So when I took off my face, it startled them. I had the mask off and I was holding it up so the president could see it, how light it was, how beautiful it was.
We had to know, does Hollywood get it right when they portray espionage?
The Bond movies were always wildly entertaining and frustrating because the misogyny was there. They kept that part.
Tell me, you always dress this way for golf?
I changed into something more comfortable. Oh, I hope I did the right thing.
Well, you did the right thing.
The women at CIA would just look at the women in the Bond movies and just leave the room. It was like, God, everybody's going to expect that. It was always over the top. If you just wanted to be entertained, it would entertain you maybe. It was irritating to watch it because it wasn't real. It's so wrong.
I got an idea.
They're a Canadian film crew for a science fiction movie.
I fly into Tehran. We all fly out together as a film crew.
One 2012 film that did get it right was Argo. Ben Affleck's character is based on Jonna's late husband, Tony Mendez.
When George Clooney bought the rights to Argo, first we were thrilled. Then Tony said, well, now we have to write the book. Because they're going to write a script, and it's not going to be exactly our story. I mean, so it was a historical thing that Argo did.
Tony Mendez died of Parkinson's disease in 2019.
This was the Golden Globes. Tony went up on the stage and did something very small with John Goodman. So everybody then knew, oh, that's Tony Mendez. That's the Argo guy. Tony came and sat back down at our table, and Michael J. Fox just looked at him. And then he took a pen and he wrote something on his menu. It took him a minute. He got up and came over and he gave it to Tony. He went and sat back down. Tony had not said to anyone, I have Parkinson's. Michael J. Fox said, here's how to contact me. Here's my phone number. Here's my email, my address, my office. He says, get in touch. We'll do something. Which was so gutsy of him, but he watched Tony walk up, kind of fumble his lines, walk back. He diagnosed Tony. He saw Parkinson's.
Even though she's out of the industry, her training hasn't disappeared.
I don't even think about it. I'm just looking. But if I see somebody twice, or if I see them on the street and then they're next to me in the store, I perk up. I notice that kind of thing. If somebody's paying too much attention to me, I see it. I keep an eye out, but it's reflexive at this point. I don't walk around feeling threatened. I don't walk around worried somebody's after me.
And she's proud of what the agency is still doing today.
What we're doing is collecting information on the plans and intentions of the enemy. That's it. That is the job of the CIA.
For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Andrea Swindall.